Different part of the world today, still in southwest Wales, but this time down on the Gower Peninsula. Some lovely rocks and a decent low tide. Let's go see what we can find, and what we do find we'll cook up later, okay? Coming closer. Right, lift this stone up now, see what's here. Water's freezing. Little edible crab. Oh yeah, underneath you can see a little dahlia anemone covered with bits of shell and sand and grit for protection. And on the bottom there, there's a snakelops anemone. Put him back, I lost on the bottom there. And just on the bottom there we've got what's called a sea wash with the egg cases of whelks. I'm going to check this stone here now. There's a starfish there, look. Oh yeah. And there's a number of common starfish there, and these will come in and they'll feed on mussels and any other shellfish they'll get. So we'll put them back. Nice little pond here now. Just going to show you some of the seaweeds that we have. Just down here you can see dulse. We've got some sea lettuce, all edible. Some more dulse. And we've come across and we've got this coralline seaweed. Gritty, this isn't edible. Right, we can look down here now. We're going to gather some winkles to add flavour to our meal, and you can see in there we've got some nice little periwinkles. Put those in the basket. Yeah, just for flavour now, we're going to get some of these limpets, knock them off with a stone. That. We just have a couple for flavour. Just found this rock now. As you can see, it's got all these dog whelks on it, little beadlet anemone and a few others, and as you can see they've been breeding, laying the eggs, and just underneath there we can see a little baby starfish. Now, didn't catch these today, but I foraged these yesterday down in Pembrokeshire. Got a nice scallop which we're going to cook. A nice native oyster, some lovely big cockles, and some other clams which you're going to cook, just a bit of diversity. Right, so start cooking now, so just a little bit of salt water. Just killed the velvet swimming crabs now. Going to put them in the saucepan. I've just washed the periwinkles now and the limpets. Just put that in to cook with the swimming crabs. Just found this nice mermaid's purse now in on the beach there. It's the egg case of a skate, and it's empty because it's actually developed and hatched out and swam away to live his life. Mermaid's purse. We've got the velvet crabs and winkles cooking in the saucepan now. The top off, just about boiling. There'll be at least 5 minutes cooking in there. And we've got then, what we're going to cook is a nice scallop, oyster and some cockles to add to it, and then we're going to do it in a cream and white wine sauce with some pre-cooked noodles. So what we're going to do, we've got the velvet swimming crabs cooking in there along with the periwinkles and the limpets. They'll take longer to cook, so they'll take about a good 5 minutes of boiling. And we've already seen what's in the basket. So ingredients I've brought with us. I've made a cream and white wine sauce with onions and chives to add to it. I've dug some spring garlic bulbs, so we'll use it all. Wild garlic, by the way. And we've got some wild chives. And as a garnish, we're going to use wild primrose flowers. And there's the noodles, which I pre-cooked before coming out. This is delicious. This is actually roasted sugar kelp, and it's been roasted and dried so it's crispy. It'll crumble, and delicious condiment that actually tastes a bit like smoked bacon. Delicious. Yeah. Right. Prepare the wild garlic now. Cut the roots off. Chop the sprouting stem, and we'll add the bulb. Check the crabs now, they're doing nicely. They've had a good 5 minutes of cooking, and we're going to add now, we're not going to eat the oysters and the scallops raw this time, we're going to cook it. So we'll put them in there so they'll steam away nicely, and they'll be in there for about 5 minutes. Think more about the roasted sugar kelp now. Gone crispy, crumbled up and used as a condiment. Now the actual name is Laminara saccharina. Saccharina is Latin for sugar, and when it's live and dried out, it forms a white powder, and that white powder is called sorbitol, and which is the same substance that you get on some types of chewing gum as a dusting. And something else about sugar kelp is it's used as what's called a poor man's weather vane, because when it's hung out in the summer it dries, and when the atmosphere becomes damp it becomes limp. So that was how the old people used to think it was rain was due. So poor man's weather vane, and at the same time delicious. Let me check on our food now. Oh, there we are. Scallop's opened and it's cooked. Oyster needs a couple more minutes. So, as you can see in there, delicious scallop. And we'll keep him on there. I'm just going to cut off the guts. Leave that for the crabs. And a little bit of what's called the skirt, which is actually where its eyes are. It's got lots of eyes that go around the outside so it can see danger. And this bit here is called the coral, which is its reproductive organs. And there is the delicious scallop meat. So you're going to slice it up there. And Dafydd wants that piece to eat. Nice, Dafydd?
Very.
Okay. Now it's important that you don't overcook scallops. As you can see, it's quite raw in the middle and just cooked on the outside. That's how it should be. Right. Crabs have had about 5 or 10 minutes to cook now. They're ready, along with the winkles and the limpets. clean the pan now, and a touch of seawater, put it in, and then put in the cockles and the clams. Don't need much water because we're just going to steam them, and we're going to use the juice that comes out as flavour. Put the other clams in as well. Right, to give a flavour to the sauce, we're going to add some of the wild garlic and chives. Yeah, so they'll cook nicely in there. We'll open our oyster now, which has been cooked. Get in. Never make a oyster shuckle like. There we go. And there it is. So we're going to put him, we're going to add him to our food there. And there he is, but as you've seen before, not as big as the Pacific oyster. So we put him in. Right, cockles now are cooked, and the clams, we're going to remove those and add them to our meal. Okay. Right, we're going to keep some of the juice, which has mainly come out of the cockles, as a flavouring, and then we're going to take the cockles out of the shells. Right, so we put our pre-prepared white wine and cream sauce in now, and we have just break up the scallop, and we'll add to that the cockles and the other clams and the scallop, and we'll stir in the noodles. We'll just warm these through, and we'll keep some of the juice that we kept from the cooked cockles. Give them a good stirring there. Nearly done. And just add a few of garlic and chives, put those through, and the primrose flowers. And last but not least, we'll crumble up some of the roasted sugar kelp. Give it a good there we are, and that's it done. Right, here's our meal now, which is noodles pre-cooked before we brought with us, cockles, oysters, scallops, velvet swimming crabs, limpets, and just a little bit of our favourite, which is our roast sugar kelp, the flavour, all done in a white wine and cream sauce. Right, so here's our meal now with the primroses, noodles and all the rest of it, with the lovely white wine and cream sauce. Delicious.